Welcome to Money Chronicles live at the 2026 Fearless Investing Summit. I'm Johnny Sandquist.
And I'm Torie Happe.
And our guest, our much taller guest today, is Larry Sprung, founder and wealth advisor at Mitlin Financial. Thanks for being here, Larry.
Thanks for having me, Johnny and Torie. Thank you.
Yes, I feel like we've gotten to hang out almost this entire event. So
It has.
Again, I'm glad that we're hanging out again. We love to start this podcast off a little different than most. So we know that the industry is built by folks like yourselves and many people here in this room, but we never get to hear the backstory of why you're so passionate about what you do. So we want to hear your first money memory that you have.
Yeah, so I'm pretty public about why I'm in this profession, and it really stems from the fact that when I was about 12 or 13, my mom was diagnosed with cancer, and I watched my dad, who was a New York City school teacher, battle being a school teacher, having a part-time job in terms of he had his own business, and then managing the family as well. And I watched him juggling all these things, and he did a great job. He did an amazing job considering the life circumstances.
Right.
But he never had a financial advisor. He never had somebody who was there to guide him or help him. And I always felt like if he did, it would have eased the burden just a little bit. Obviously, it wouldn't have affected or changed my mom's situation, but definitely would have helped them overall.
Yeah.
So it was something that I wanted to go explore a little bit further, and I ended up entering the profession right out of college, and it's been extremely rewarding because I get to help people like my dad who are having struggles and trials and tribulations, but we also help people reach great milestones and joyous occasions for them and their family. So that's really why I'm here.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's inspiring to have such a purpose driving you, right?
I think it's
this
so
can be such a
important.
purpose-filled profession for many people.
Right. Well, I think some people, the profession is great, but there are people that have the wrong purpose, and those are easily snuffed out by the general public. But I think those that really have the true purpose behind helping people and truly wanting to be good stewards of families and help them be good stewards of their money are really rising to the top of the profession.
Yeah. Now at Mitlin, I think you work with some pretty unique clients, right? Like you have some niches that are maybe different than what most advisors might have.
Yeah, I think you're probably referring to romance authors.
Yes, I am. I'm teasing the lead here.
Yeah.
But I mean, how did you discover that you're like, hey, I'm actually a pretty great advisor for romance authors specifically? How'd that become a niche for you?
Well, I mean, romance authors are no different than business owners, really. I mean, they're just operating business in a different way. Their business is creating a book or writing or a chronicle. And I mean, the long story short is we had an author about 12 or 13 years ago, maybe even longer. My wife would probably be correcting me right now, that approached my wife about donating a portion of the proceeds or all the proceeds from a book she was writing to my brother-in-law's memorial fund. For those that don't know, I lost my brother-in-law in 2004, died by suicide, and became very active in mental health. And this specific author really wanted to donate money towards mental health. So we ended up, my wife was like, yeah, that'd be great. And over time, we ended up getting involved with a couple of conferences. And at those conferences, we hosted thank you parties to the authors, because this one author turned into about 30 authors that now to this day every May donate a portion of the proceeds of their book sales to my brother-in-law's memorial fund. So we were asked by a couple of conferences to come out because they had financial people come out before, but they were there once and never showed up again because there was no business, or they got no business. And we were like, listen, that's not what we're about. We want to educate and help the community, and especially this is a great community that's really helping us and helping raise awareness in mental health. So it just really was just being in the right place and doing the right things for the right people. And today we serve a number of great authors, and they're business owners. At the end of the day, that's really what they are at their crux.
And I find it so interesting too that you always hit on this human element of everything. We're at a tech conference, right? So we're hearing all this AI is going to take over the world, but you are so steadfast that we still need the human element about our business, and that's what I appreciate your joyous nature about it. So we are at a tech conference. What is something that's like really struck you as like awe-inspiring, or like this is going to be like really helpful to our community?
Yeah. Well, I think to your point, even though we're at a tech conference here, I mean, just this morning alone, we've heard it again and again that this human element is so important.
Yeah.
That it's a trust business, it's a personal business, and we leaned into this joy aspect of things 4 or 5 years ago, and I think to some degree we were a little ahead of our time. Now looking backwards and forwards, right? We didn't know AI was coming the way it is, and I think it's really positioned us in a way that we don't really worry about the AI revolution. I think it's going to be a situation where we're leaning into it and we're using it, and we're utilizing those areas of AI that are beneficial to our practice and helping serve the families we serve better. But I think ultimately, and Jamie Hopkins was just saying, nobody gets excited over a spreadsheet. It doesn't happen.
That's
but
true. Unless you're an accountant, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know that they do either, really. They might think they have to, but I don't think they really do. I mean, but when you sit down with a family, you start talking about like their goals and wanting to send their kids to college debt-free. A lot of times, advisors will start thinking about, okay, well, how do we figure out the money to get them debt-free? And what we want to know is, well, why is this so important to you? Yeah. And a lot of cases, you find out some crazy things like, mom and dad didn't get college paid for them, and they're still in debt today, and this is very important. And that's more important than actually finding how you're going to save the money. That's table stakes. We can do that, but I think really that human element's what really keeps us relevant today.
Now, on the flip side of helping families be successful, one of kind of the most illuminating questions we ask is about mistakes, right? So like in your life, what would you say is your biggest money mistake that you've made? But more importantly, what did that teach you? What did you learn from it?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a money mistake. Maybe it is. I can tie it back. It turned into a mistake that was business that probably resulted in less revenue and less opportunity in the business. And that was really leaning into social media and our digital footprint as a business. Back in like 2018, 2017, my wife was like, we got to lean into this thing. You should be on social more. And I was like, people don't want to know where I'm going and what I'm doing. And she's like, they do. So we ran a test, and we were going to South Africa in 2019, and we decided to put up one post every day from our trip. And after that trip, I got an email from a family that we served, and she said she has COPD, couldn't leave the house, on an oxygen tank. She said, one of my bucket list things was going to South Africa on safari. Okay. And it was something I never did, nor will I ever be able to do. But through you and you posting every day, I logged in every day to see what you and your family were doing. And she's like, I feel like I went to South Africa. Yeah. And it was one of many times that I said to my wife, you're 100,000% right. We got to lean into this thing. And I think if we leaned into it a little bit earlier, it would have been more fruitful monetarily. But I'm a big believer that everything's for a reason, and that was a learning experience. We learned from it, internalized, and moved forward.
I'm also a big believer that Denise is always right.
Not always. I've gotten a few this year that you're right, meaning me. I couldn't believe it, and she put it out there publicly like I have.
Deal.
So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of your social and what you post, I think everybody knows you're a big hockey family. The what rank is Larry at post. Like I've always enjoyed following along with those, and just I absolutely can see how your clients and your prospects would love that, because it just leaves me feeling like I'm more connected to you. We talk at a couple conferences a year, but I see you like every day on LinkedIn.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I think it's important, to your point, we want the families we work with feeling like our family, not just, it's not a business transaction. One of our core values at Mitlin is client equals family equals team. We want our team to feel part of our family. We want our clients to feel part of our family. And if we all feel like family, families have disagreements from time to time, but usually they can, figure it out and work past it. And that's what we try to do.
Yeah. All right, I've got one more question. Do you have any more
you want to hit with?
Okay, last one. Pretty simple. Are you doing any moonlighting as a romance author yourself these days?
I am not.
You getting into the writing game?
I am not, but they are one of the reasons why I did write my book that I put out in 2023, because I was like, I wanted to, it was something that I always had thought about. I just never set aside the time to do it. But we were working with so many romance authors. I was like, I have to go through this process because I want to know what it's like to be a writer. And I will tell you, it is not an easy task to take on.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. We have like one author in particular, she writes anywhere between 8 to 10 books a year. Like, I literally see photos
That's
of
prolific.
I literally see her in cars waiting to pick up her daughter at school with the laptop and showing how many words she wrote for that day. You know, so those who think that it might not be the hardest career, it may not be hard in terms of swinging a sledgehammer, but it's an intensive work. But I don't see any romance books in my future.
All right, maybe a second career after retirement.
I've been a character in one or two.
Oh,
yes.
there we go. Okay,
Yes.
okay.
I like this.
Well, that might be a
Just the announcer
that
at
might
a
be
hockey
a
game.
follow-up podcast. We can ask about that. That's awesome. That's great. Larry, thanks for joining us and sharing your Money Chronicles. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks,
Thank
Larry.
you.